TinkerCAD tips. We've been working with these multicolored logo objects in TinkerCAD, being able to separate these into separate colors so we could print them in multicolor like on a bamboo. And I came across a shortcut that I wanted to show everybody. So I started off over here on Google searching for images, and in this case the NBC logo. But I specifically wanted to find one that was an SVG that was already vector graphics. It would make for a cleaner end result. So I found one here. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to do Save Image As. I'm going to save that into a folder of mine here, just called NBC logo.svg. And then we come over here to the same site, ping2svg.com. And just as we did before, we're going to select that file. We're going to bring that in. And as I showed you in the prior video, we want to get the exact colors here. I'm going to change this to 8. And by clicking on a palette color here and then using that eyedropper over the color in the image, I can set each one of those correctly. So there's our orange, there's our purple, there's our red, blue, there's the black, and the one we were missing is the yellow. And we can fix that. We'll click there. We've got our colors all set. And just as before, I'm going to click on Generate. Once it's generated, it'll look like this, just as it did before. And if we scroll down, we get to this SVG image that has all of these layers separated. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. And it's been given a name here. We'll just save it with that name. Now, this is where the shortcut comes in. I'm going to be using a program called Inkscape. This is Inkscape, and I believe this is free to download and use. So what we're going to do here is click on Open. There's our separated image. And here's the image as we see it. So what we're going to do here is we're first going to go up here and we're going to click on Layer, Layers and Objects. And it opens up a dialog over here. And right here is my file. And if I expand this, each one of these paths is a separate color or a separate layer within that. So we're going to start on this first one. And if we scroll down, we can see that that's the yellow. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to click on Export. It also opens an additional dialog here on the right. Make sure my yellow is selected. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to make sure to click this, Export Selected Only. I'm going to click in this box, the path name. And we're going to call that file yellow. And in this case, it's saving it as Inkscape.svg or Inkscape type, and that's okay. So we'll go ahead and save that. And we're just going to keep repeating that process. We'll go to the next path. We'll click on Export. You can see this is the black portion. Export Selected Only. Get my dialog. That's black. Save that, and we'll just repeat that process until we have all of them. Once you've selected each and have saved them to your folder, they should look like this, individually named. For instance, there's the black portion, blue portion, green, orange, etc. Now we're going to go back over to TinkerCAD. And let's go ahead and start a new project here. Here's our new workspace. So one by one, we're going to begin importing those. Click on Import, choose a file. We'll start with the black one here. Click Open. I'm going to change this to 50% scale, so about 225 millimeters wide. Click on Import. When it's done importing, it may not necessarily be the color you named it. There's no color information in those SVG files. So we're going to click on it. The first thing we're going to need to do for each of these is increase the quality to 24 and then set the color as we need it. This one is black. Let's move that up out of the way. We're going to click on the next one. This one is blue. 50% scale. Click on it, increase the quality, and set the color. And we're going to do that for the remainder of these. Occasionally, when you're importing these, you'll find that there may be some remnants from other colors. For instance, on this purple part, I have a couple portions here that really don't belong in the image. So now is the time to erase those just by simply putting whole squares over them. We'll duplicate that. We'll bring that there. We'll duplicate that. Stretch it across. And then just quickly group these together. And we've cleaned that up. So let me do the rest of the colors. Once you have them all imported and the little remnants cleaned up, it'll look like this. To get these lined up, remember we have these registration marks, which we may have to delete later, but we can line these up quickly. And in this case, I'm just going to hit Control A, selected everything. I'm going to click on Alignment. I'm going to click on this white one to make it the boss. Down the center, and then you want to click on the top up here near the registration marks. And there we have it. Everything gets lined up. It would just be a matter of getting rid of these registration blocks, and you could send all of these objects to Bamboo Studio, for example, at once, and assign different colors to the various parts. Or you could come in here and merge these together and give different heights to each of the colors. You can still come in here and select, for instance, I've clicked on that yellow one, and I can raise or lower the height of each of these colors individually. But there you have it. A quicker way of separating the colors by using Inkscape in this example, and using the Layer and Objects function, and the export function. Make sure to use this export selected only. And if you do everything correctly, you'll end up with a nice clean 3D object like this one in TinkerCAD. As always, like, follow, and share. If you have questions or comments, you know where to drop those.